So this is heat transfer assignment 1. So the topic for this video is heat transfer from a fin of insulated tip. This is the topic for my video. So I am Gurneet Singh of Chemical Engineering second year, and I am submitting this assignment to Dr. Shashikant Yadav. So now let us start the topic. So my topic is heat dissipated from a fin insulated at the tip. So first of all, we will be looking at how a fin looks like. So this is the basic diagram of the fin, and this is the wall of the fin. I am shading the area. This area is the wall of the fin, and we are assuming that the temperature at the wall be T naught, and the TA would be the ambient temperature, that is the atmospheric temperature. We will assume it as TA. So the length of the fin is L. That is the fin length from here to here. This length we consider it as L. Now we will be discussing about some boundary condition for the insulated tip of the fin. So the first condition is when x is equal to when x is equal to 0, the temperature is T naught. We have already assumed that the temperature is T naught here at the wall. So the next boundary condition would be as x is equal to L, and at the tip when the length is L. So here the condition is dt by dx is equal to 0. So this condition, we will be understanding how this condition came. Everything we would be understanding in the next slide or in the next video. So now this is the shaded area. So this shaded area represents the tip of the fin. So we have to what we have to find that the heat dissipated from the insulated fin at the tip, when the tip is insulated of the fin, what is the heat dissipated? As we know that the tip the tip is insulated, so the heat dissipated would be equal to 0. That is Q is equal to 0. So we have to mix the heat dissipation 0. We have to follow some conditions, that is the insulated tip, so that on the insulated tip, so that the heat dissipated would be equal to 0. We have to follow some conditions, some methods, or and also we have to prove that with the derivations, that Q is equal to 0. That is the heat transfer between the surrounding and the tip is 0. So before starting the assignment in the topic, we would be first understanding what is a fin. As this is a internal combustion engine, this is IC engine. So we know that there is a cooling system here in the IC engine. So there are two types of cooling, that is the air cooling and water cooling. So the fins provide cooling in the internal combustion engine. Here we can see the fins. These are the fins. These, so you can see that how the fins look like. These fins provide cooling in the internal combustion engine. This is the major use of the fins in the internal combustion engine. So before starting the my topic, that is the heat dissipated from a fin insulated at the tip. I needed some. I need to know something about the proof of some about some equations about the about the boundary conditions. I would about the ambient temperature. What is ambient temperature? Why we took assume that T the temperature of the wall at T naught. About everything we will be discussing in the topic heat dissipation from an infinite long fin, and that knowledge we will be using in our topic. So the heat dissipated from an infinite long fin. So here we can see that this is the a fin. So this is the same as it is the wall of the fin, and we can see that T naught here is the temperature of the wall. We have assumed that the temperature of the wall is T naught, and we have also we can say that it's the wall of the temperature, and that is it's the maximum temperature. Now del here is the thickness of the fin, and B is the width of the fin, and TA is the ambient temperature, as we know, that is the atmospheric temperature. Here this shady region represent the width and the thickness. So the perimeter of this area is 2 into B plus del, as B is here the width and del here is the thickness. So the perimeter would be equal to 2 into B plus del, as 2 times B here and here, and del represents the thickness here and here. So the 2 times B plus del here represents the thickness, the perimeter. Let me erase this. Now here L is the length of the fin. So here the length of the fin is equal to infinity. So the length of the fin is equal to infinite, and the area of cross section is AC. We have assumed that the area of cross section is AC, and it's equal to the thickness into width. Thickness, that is the delta or del, and B is the width. So the area of cross section is B into del. If in case this fin is in circular shape, so the area would be here pi by 4 d square. So the area in that case would be pi by 4 d square when the area is in circular form, when the fin is in circular form. So now I would be telling you about the temperature profile. What is temperature profile? So here we can see this is the general representation of how a fin looks like. The diagrammatical form, the diagram, what how the fin looks like, and some basic data. So as we know that the T naught is the maximum temperature. As we know that the T naught is the maximum temperature. So here in the temperature profile curve, we can see that the T naught has an initial high temperature, and we can see that as we move away from the wall, that is, we are moving away from in the x direction, the curve is exponentially decreasing, and it tends to be equal to Ta, that is the ambient temperature. So here we can see that it's the temperature profile curve. So now I will be assuming that a small point T here. So that T point would be at a distance of x. Let me tell you about that. Let us consider this point as x. Moving from here to here. Let us assume this point as x. This shaded region I have mentioned here. Let this point be x. So we have taken a small region, that is dx, and it has a small change in temperature, that is dt. So now as we know that the heat is flown in this area, flowing from this area to this area. So we can zoom this, and we have assumed that here the temperature here I have assumed as T. Let some temperature here be T at this point. So now as the heat is flown in this area, that is we assumed that it is Qx, and heat will and the heat from this area would be Q x plus dx, as we have moved from this point to this point. So as we know that as the fin works as an air cooling system, so the heat dissipated would be equal to heat dissipated would be in the surrounding. So the heat dissipated in the surrounding would be QH, as the fin works as an air cooling system. So the heat dissipated would be QH. The QH represent here as the heat, the dissipated heat in the surrounding. So we can tell that QH is equal to H into P into dx into T minus TA. Here T minus TA is the difference between the temperature, as we have assumed that the temperature of this area is T and the atmospheric temperature or the ambient temperature. So the here is it is the difference between the temperature, and P here is the peripheral area, means the perimeter, and dx here is the small change in the x direction that we have taken here. So as we can see, the temperature profile moves in exponentially down. So at this point of the curve, when the length is approximately equal to infinity, we can say that the temperature T naught is equal to Ta. When the temperature is equal to Ta, not T naught, simple temperature is equal to Ta. Yes. So the after seeing the temperature profile and the diagram, we can say that the heat flown on the x plane, that is in the inlet, is Qx is equal to KAC dt by dx. So here Q represent the conductivity and A represent here is the cross sectional area that I have discussed earlier, and Qx is the heat flown in the xward direction. So now the heat flown on X plane, that is on the outlet side would be Qx plus dx is equal to Qac dx d by dx t plus dt by dx del x, and here x represent in both these are the move heat flown in the x plane, so x represent here. So let this equation be 1 and let this equation be 2. So now the heat dissipated from the body to surrounding that we have discussed in the temperature profile curve, that is Qx here represent the heat flown inlet to the system and heat flown outlet to the system, and QH here represent that is the heat dissipated to the surrounding here, that we have lost that we have transferred to from the body to surrounding, that is QH is equal to H into P dx T minus TA, that is the difference in the temperature. Now we can form a balanced equation, that is Q is equal to Qx plus dx plus QH, as the heat is transferred from this point to this point and to the surrounding. So the balance equation would be same as if let this be A and this be B and this be C. So the heat equation would be equal to A is equal to B plus C. So as we know that A is equal to B and C, as I have told this in an example. So similarly, this is written as a balance equation, that Qx is equal to Q dx plus QH. Let me erase this. So now we will put the values of equation 1, 2 and 3 in the above equation. Here is the equation 1, 2 and 3 represent the heat flown on X plane, heat flown on X plane inlet and X plane outlet, and the heat dissipated from the surrounding. These are equation 1 and 2 and 3. So we will be putting these values of equation 1 and 2 and 3 in the balance equation. So the equation becomes minus QAC dt by dx is equal to minus QAC dx by d by dx t plus dt by dx del x plus HP dx t minus ta. So when we open the brackets of this, so firstly this term will be multiplied with this, and then the whole term will be multiplied with this term. So we can see that Q minus KAC dt by dx minus QAC dt by dx are exactly same, so we can cancel these out, and we are left with the equation. When we move this term towards the left hand side to remove the negative sign, we can form this equation as QAC d square t upon dx square del x HP del x t minus ta. So as the del x here and del x here are same, so we can also cancel these out. Now the net equation we are left with is a d square t upon dx square is equal to HP divided by K into AC, that is conductivity into area of cross section, into the change in the difference in the temperature from that point to the ambient temperature, that is the atmospheric temperature. So now this represents the differential equation for the function which is in the form of t and x. So now for we will convert this equation, this general form, into the form of theta. So let us assume that the change in the difference in the temperature, that is T minus Ta, is equal to theta. We will assume this. Then we will differentiate first 1 minute. We will differentiate T minus Ta into theta with respect to x. We will differentiate this equation with respect to x. So the above equation becomes dt by dx is equal to d theta by dx. So here we can see that dta by dx is equal to 0. So why it is equal to 0? We can see that as ta is a constant or a fixed quantity, as it is the atmospheric temperature and it has a fixed value. So the differentiation of a fixed value or a constant value is always equal to 0. So now we will assume that h into p divided by k into ac is equal to m square, as we know that h here is the convective coefficient, p here is the perimeter or the peripheral area, q is here the conductivity, and ac here is the cross sectional area. So all these quantities here in this above equation, in this equation, are constant, as we can fix these values, as we would be given these values. So all of these are constant and we will let these as m square and another constant to make the equation simpler or simpler. So we will be making the differential equation, the previous differential equation, this equation we would be converting now it into theta. We have to remember that t minus ta here is equal to theta, that we have to know that t minus ta here is equal to theta. We have assumed that, and after differentiating we have to know that we have we have found that dt by dx is equal to d theta by dx, and we have also assumed that h into p divided by k into ax is m square. Now the differential equation in the terms of theta would be d square by d theta divided by dx square is equal to minus m square theta is equal to 0. So this is the differential equation in the form of theta. So now we will be converting this equation into its general form. So we would be getting as theta is equal to c1 e raised to the power mx plus c2 e raised to the power minus mx. As we know that any differential equation will have this general form solution is c1 e raised to the power mx plus c2 e raised to the power minus mx. This is the general form of any differential equation. So in the previous slide we have seen that we have assumed theta as the temperature difference T minus Ta. So now we will be putting the value back into this equation. So T minus Ta is equal to C1 e raised to the power mx plus C2 e raised to the power minus mx. So this is the desired result that we will use in our In our topic, that is the heat dissipated from a fin insulated at the tip, this result is very important. We will start our derivation or the proof of that heat dissipated from the insulated tip that is equal to 0. We will start our proof from this equation only. So we have to remember this result so that we can use it further. Now we will be also learning about how to calculate the boundary conditions. As we have let t minus ta as theta, so the boundary condition will also be changed according to theta. So here we have the first boundary condition was at the wall x is equal to 0 and t is equal to t theta at the wall at here at the starting point. We know that the boundary conditions are this. So let us assume this as equation 1. Now, as the length of the fin is infinite, so the variable x is here is also infinite. So as we have seen in the temperature profile, here I will draw it again. Here it was T naught, and here this distance was TA. And this was TA. So at infinite, we know that T would be equal to TA, or would be approximately equal to TA. This would be the correct statement. As the graph moves exponentially, so at a distance, at an infinite distance, the fin temperature at the tip would be equal to the ambient temperature. So now let this equation be, this boundary condition be as equation 2. So let me erase this curve. So first of all, we have to subtract TA, that is the ambient temperature, from both the equations. That is T minus TA is equal to T naught. As we know that T is equal to T naught, so we will subtract minus TA from both sides. So then we can see that T minus TA, we have assumed that T minus TA is equal to theta. T minus TA is equal to theta, and T naught minus TA here is theta naught. That is the initial, we can say as it would be as initial point. So from the second equation, we can see that T minus TA is equal to TA minus TA. So at infinite, the theta, that is the temperature difference, we know it would be 0. So now the new boundary conditions becomes as follow. At the starting point, the x is equal to 0 and theta is equal to theta naught. We have already proved here. And at x is equal to infinity, the theta, that is the temperature difference, is 0. So this is how we will change the boundary conditions according to the variable we let, that is in terms of theta. So now coming back to our topic, that is heat dissipated from a fin insulated at the tip. So it is a general diagram. It represents the wall of the fin, this area, and T naught here represents the temperature of the wall. TA here represents the ambient temperature, and L represent the length of the fin, that is from this to this, from the wall to the tip.
Similarly, the boundary conditions, x is equal to 0 when t is equal to t naught, and x is equal to L when dt by dx is equal to 0. So now I will be telling about how dt by dx is equal to 0. So first of all, I would be telling you how this came. As we have seen, qx is equal to minus kac dt by dx. So as at the tip, the value of q is 0. So the value of q is 0. So either k can be 0, ac can be 0, or dt by dx can be 0. So as we know that q and ac, that is conductivity and area of cross section, these are constant quantities and they would have some values. So these quantities cannot be equal to 0. So we are left with the term dt by dx. So to make q equal to 0, dt by dx should be equal to 0. So this is the boundary condition. That is, at x equal to 0, t naught t is equal to t naught, and when x is equal to L, dt by dx is equal to 0, because k and ac can't be equal to 0. Now we can see that when we are changing the value of the when we are changing the variables t minus t naught as theta, that is the temperature difference, we are changing the variables into theta. So first of all, we would be subtracting t minus ta. T minus ta is equal to t naught minus ta. So this is the same as theta is equal to theta naught that we have done previously in the case of infinite fin. So now the boundary condition becomes, when x is equal to 0, theta is equal to theta naught, and when x is equal to L, dt by dx is equal to 0. So now the boundary conditions are changed in the terms of theta. As I have told you in the previous slides, that this equation is very important, that we will start our derivation of a proof from this equation only. T minus Ta is equal to C1 e raised to the power mx plus C2 e raised to the power minus mx. So let us assume this equation as equation 1. So as we have assumed that theta is equal to T minus Ta, that is the temperature difference. Theta here is equal to C1 e raised to the power mx plus C2 e raised to the power minus mx. As x is equal to 0, theta naught is equal to C1 plus C2. As we will put the value of x here 0, so e raised to the power 0 would be equal to 1. So we would be left as theta naught is equal to C1 e raised to the power 0 plus C2 e raised to the power 0, and theta naught would be equal to C1 plus C2. So now we will assume this equation as equation 2, and we will also differentiate this equation with respect to x. So dt by dx is equal to C1 e raised to the power mx, and differentiating the value with respect to x, we are left as m, and C2 e raised to the power minus mx. E raised to the power minus mx remains e raised to the power minus mx. So differentiating d by dx into minus mx, it is equal to minus m, that we have written here. So the equation becomes this: dt by dx is equal to m into c1 e raised to the power mx minus m into c2 e raised to the power minus mx. Now at x is equal to L, we know that at x is equal to L, dt by dx is equal to 0. We will put the value of x here as L. dt by dx is equal to 0 at x is equal to L. This is the boundary condition we have understand. So m into c1 e raised to the power ml minus m into c2 e raised to the power minus ml, that is equal to 0. So we will be taking common m, and that would be come under 0, and that term would become 0. So we would be left as c1 e raised to the power ml minus c2 e raised to the power minus ml. So let this equation be as equation 3. So now we would be using elimination method to find the value of c1 and c2 using the three equation as equation 1, 2 and 3. So first of all, we would be taking equation 2 and 3, that is c1 plus c2 is equal to theta naught, and c1 e raised to the power ml plus minus c2 e raised to the power minus ml equal to 0. So we would be multiplying this equation 2, that is this equation, this equation 2, we would be multiplying this equation with e raised to the power minus ml. We can see that c1 e raised to the power minus ml plus c2 e raised to the power minus ml is equal to theta naught e raised to the power minus ml, and equation 3 remains as it is: c1 e raised to the power ml minus c2 e raised to the power minus ml. So now we will add these both equations. On addition, we can see that these two terms would cancel out each other, and we would be left as c1 into e raised to the power ml plus e raised to the power minus ml. We would be taking out c1 common, and here we are left on right hand side, we are left with theta naught e raised to the power minus ml. So this term would be move towards the denominator, and we can find the value of c1 as theta naught into e raised to the power minus ml divided by e raised to the power ml plus e raised to the power minus ml. Similarly, we can find the value of c2, so that would be equal to c2 is equal to theta naught e raised to the power ml divided by e raised to the power ml plus e raised to the power minus ml. So let us assume this values of c1 and c2 as equation number 4. So now we will put the value of equation number 4, that is the value of c1 and c2, in equation number 1, that is t minus t naught is ta is equal to c1 e raised to the power mx plus c2 e raised to the power minus mx. This is, we have let this equation as equation 1. So now adding the values of c1 and c2 in the above equation, we can see that theta is equal to theta naught e raised to the power minus ml divided by e raised to the power ml plus e raised to the power minus ml e raised to the power mx. Similarly, theta naught e raised to the power ml divided by e raised to the power ml plus e raised to the power minus ml dot e raised to the power minus mx. So we will take this in towards the denominator, and we can see that, and we will take e raised to our mx and e raised to the power minus mx inside the bracket. After that, it would become e raised to the power m into L minus x plus e raised to the power m minus m L minus x divided by e raised to the power ml plus e raised to the power minus ml. As we know that the theta is equal to t minus ta, that we have assumed, and at x equal to 0, theta becomes theta naught, and the value of theta naught is T naught minus TA. Also, we can see that the cos hyperbolic m L minus x is equal to e raised to the power L minus x plus e raised to the power minus m L minus x divided by 2, which is same as numerator. And cos of hyperbolic of ml is equal to e raised to the power ml plus e raised to the power minus ml divided by 2, that is same as denominator. So we will be taking divided by 2 on both sides, and the equation becomes t minus ta divided by t naught minus ta is equal to theta by theta naught cos hyperbolic m of L minus x into cos hyperbolic ml. So this term would be taken towards the numerator and we will multiply with the cos hyperbolic terms, and we will be taking TA towards the right hand side to make it positive. So the resultant equation would be this. Now we will be differentiating the above equation with respect to x. So as we know that this is ambient temperature, that is the atmospheric temperature. So differentiation of the atmospheric temperature with respect to x or any other term would be equal to 0. So dt by dx is equal to T naught minus TA. As this term has no x, so this would be considered as a constant term and would be taken out from the differentiation. So we are left with d by dx cos hyperbolic m L minus x. So the differentiation of cos hyperbolic m into L minus x is sine of h hyperbolic m L minus x. So we will be taking the differentiation of this term again. So L minus x into m, we are left with minus m, as L here the value of dl by dA L by dx is equal to 0. As we know that the value the fin length is fixed, so the differentiation would be equal to 0. So on rearranging we can find that minus m T naught minus TA divided by cos hyperbolic mx sine of sine hyperbolic ml. When we will put x equal to 0, this x would be considered at 0, and this term we have taken in front, and we are left with sine hyperbolic ml. So sine hyperbolic ml and cos hyperbolic ml will form tan hyperbolic ml, and we have to remember this term, as this term would be used in calculating the value of q fin. So now we will be calculating the value of q fin. So q fin would be equal to minus kac dt by dx at x equal to 0. As we have calculated the value of dt by dx at x equal to 0, we will put this term into our formula, that is minus qac into minus m into t naught minus ta into tan hyperbolic ml. Minus minus cancel out, so we are left with this equation. As we have assumed that the value of m here is h into p divided by kac. So on underrooting this term, we found that m is equal to under root of h into p divided by kac. So we will be put the value of m in the above equation, that is this. So the equation formed now this QAC into under root of H into P divided by KAC, T naught minus TA, tan hyperbolic ml. So this term would be cancelled out by this term and forming an under root above this, and under root we will be multiplying, and we will be find that the Q value of Q fin is under root KAC H into P into T naught minus TA tan hyperbolic ml. So this is the value of Q fin. And thank you. So this was all about my topic, that heat dissipated from a fin insulated at the tip. I have calculated the value of Q fin, and also I have told about what is a fin, all about the heat dissipated from infinite long fin, the value, the formulas, that theta is equal to T naught T minus TA, that is the temperature difference, and the temperature profile curve, and all about the fin ambient temperature, the temperature of the wall, that is we have taken it as maximum. So all things I have covered in this video. So thank you.